Well, hello man cavers. What are we doing today? Nothing Bonza related. We're doing work in the little shed. We have a pair of engines. So which one of these are we going to do today? I have no clue. I don't care. Well, let's roll them credits and get into one of these. Welcome to the man cave. Let the games begin. So man cavers, here are our pair of engines that I found at Man Cave HQ while I was digging around looking for an engine for the Bonza. At the corner of my eye, I spotted these two under the bench. Been there for donkeys. Can't even remember where they come from. I mean, look at the state of these. You know, they was just sitting under the bench. Oh, I don't know. I can't even remember where these come from. I know what this one is. This is a 50cc BSA power unit, complete with a centrifugal clutch. And this one, well, I don't know. I don't even remember where these engines come from, but I've obviously had them for years. This engine, I can't believe how light it is. Whoops, it's all aluminium, it's two-stroke, and it's actually bolted on a little engine plate, look. So this base actually comes off. So you just have your engine here. Oh, I've just noticed we can see the piston in there. Let's have a quick look in that. There you go, you can see the piston in there. Will the engine turn? Oh yeah, look at that. Do she turn 360 degrees? And it do, look at that. Never noticed that before. Well, I've never took any notice of this engine before. Right, I don't know how old the engine is, but you can guarantee it's 30 years old, because that's at least that's been sitting down Man Cave HQ. I obviously bought these probably the same time I bought all my Japs when I was at school, I'm guessing. I honestly don't remember where this engine come from. Anyhow, which one do you want to get into today? This little... I've just noticed a nameplate. Didn't even know what make it was. What's that? Fitchel? Let's get a bit of... clean that up a bit. I have no clue. No, I have no clue. Come on, get focus camera. Trying to get a look on that plate. Maybe you guys can decipher it. There you go. Fitchel and Sasha's AG. Is that Germany? Yeah. When Wendy and Richard come and picked the Wolseley up the other day, he read that name and said it was German. I hadn't noticed it before, and I'm only now looking at the plate. But yeah, I see the petrol tank just holds on with like a... yeah, just a rubber strap with a hook on it. Look, how weird is that? What's this, an engine kill? I'm assuming I've just ripped off some sort of engine kill there. Yeah, that's... put the little boot back on, Fen, there you go. Anyhow, which of these engines shall we look at today? This German thing or this little BSA? Well, more fitting to the channel, let's do the BSA. We'll do this another time. We will get to it, because I'm intrigued as to whether this thing would actually run. I do like the little pull string on it, the little handle. Yeah. We've got an air cleaner cover missing. Have we got a choke that work? There you go. You lift that little thing up, look, and there's our choke. You know, this would be quite an interesting little engine if it ran. But we'll do the BSA. If you want to see this thing done, I mean, it's small, it's tiny. We'll put he down there for next time. But for today, you guys love old English stuff, so let's have a look at this BSA. So I think the first thing to do with this BSA is unravel this throttle cable, which is wrapped around here. I'll be amazed if that actually works. I think that's seized up. Well, bugger me. I can hear it moving in the carburetor. Crikey. Right, look at all this crap on it. Yeah, she's a bit of a mess, ain't she? First thing to do, I think, is get a blowgun and blow all the crud off it. Oh, dear me. Oh, dear, oh dear. Whatever was that? Looked like a bit of mould or something had grown on there. This throttle cable is going to get right in our way, isn't it? Right, that's enough of that. I think the first thing we're going to do is see if we've got a spark. I think we've got two chances here. Bob Hoop. Oh, that little bracket's on a spring, look. So our spring load and just go down onto the plug. Look at that. That ain't just a flexible bit of tin what bend over. It's actually a proper little bracket on a spring. Oh, that's good, isn't it? So let's pop the plug out of this thing. Is it even tight in there? Yes, it is. And see if we've got a spark. I hope it has. So I don't particularly want to go pulling the flywheel off these little... I hate taking flywheels off little engines. I must admit that spark plug looks quite damn good. I must have put this crimp on there at some point. I've worked on this before. I honestly can't remember when. It's been so long. Right, let's do my normal trick of a bit of oil down the plug hole. There you go. You know me, I don't like turning these engines over without... Oh, she turned. We should lubricate that cylinder a bit. Right, now let's see if we got any form of spark. I bet you we hint. Not a chance. No. 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 We never have a spark, do we? Oh, this is just my luck. Right. The hole hasn't got a spark. Nah, of course it hasn't. Right. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get that throttle cable out of the way because that's going to annoy me. I think if we unscrew the top of this, that'll come out with the piston. There you go. We'll have the carb to bits as well, won't we? We've got to have that to pieces so we can, yeah, so we can work on it. Let me just check that spark without a plug in it. No. So we've got no spark. So we've got to get off this cover here, which looks like... Can you see that? That looks to me like Phillips screws on here. Will they come undone? There's little spaces in the back there. There isn't all. You watch, we will lose all them spaces. That's that one undone. go, that's all coming off. There we go. There we go. There's our recoil. Let's take these screws and spacers out before they all fall out. Put them in our little pot. There we go. There's our recoil start. Let's start by giving that a bit of oil. Oh, that's working a lot easier already, look. One little bit of oil and that's working so much easier. And the little poles, yeah, they're coming out and grabbing, look. Perfect. Right, how do we get this tin work off? Because the fuel line goes through it. Ah. Got Kevin Swants on a motorcycle there. Alright, let's get our little sockets out. So I think we need to take this fuel line off here somehow. That carburetor's loose, looking at that. Right. She's tight, boy. There you go, she's off. Right, so now this fuel pipe will come off with this fuel tank. Let's put our little nut back in there so we don't lose it. There we go. Right, how do these covers come off? 2 more Phillips screws by the look of that. Which is coming undone, look. Marvellous. I hope there's a points cover on here so we ain't got to take the flywheel out. I like to have these tins off actually to make sure there's no mouse having a nest or anything. What have we got here? Right, that's held on there with two more nuts. Or 2 more bolts, should I say. Whew. This is where something fall down the plug hole, because I was too damned idle to cover the plug hole up. How long are these bolts? Or are they head bolts? I reckon they're head bolts as well, you know. Oh. Oh, that's some tight little studs. There we go. Alright, now hopefully this will come off. It does. Our HT lead's catching on it, so well, that's actually surprisingly close already. No wonder if red... Ah, look. Mouse nest. This is why you should normally always have your tins off, guys. That would have got in there and blocked the cooling up. That is in remarkably nice condition, if I'm honest. No rust in there at all. Does make me wonder. Alright, let's have a look. Now, how do we get this? Right, we've got to take this centre nut out. If I can find a socket to fit that. Right, we have a socket that fits. It is a 5/16 Whitworth. So we'll put him on the windy. Make sure this is normal right hand thread before we start undoing. So the engine turns. Right, turns clockwise. So that's going to self-tighten the nut if it undo left hand, yeah. So that is standard thread. That's how you can tell by the direction of the flywheel. It'll always self-tighten. So we can come, that's going the wrong way. Let's come back. Wow, look at that. No problem at all. Straight off. There we go. There's a little washer in there. No, that one don't fit on there. I don't know what that was for. Right. Oh dear. So there's no inspection cover. So that looks like we've got to get some form of puller in there to get this flywheel off. Unless we can put the nut on a bit and just give that some gentle love taps. But there's nowhere to get behind the flywheel, unfortunately, to pry it, or else I'd pry behind it and tap to get that flywheel off. Alright, I don't know whether I've got a small enough puller to go on there, you know. I might have. Let me have a dig around, see if I can find a small puller for that. Oh, I can't find a small puller, so we're going to have a little go with my favourite tool. I'll hold some pressure on this flywheel and tap the nut. Wow, look at that. One little tap and that broke loose. This is brilliant news so far. Hey, there we go. Nice and clean in there. Looks lovely in that flywheel. What do our points look like? Actually looks remarkably clean in there. Unbelievable. Right, let's get one of our files and get them points cleaned up. And then hopefully we'll have some form of spark. Alright, let's get these points filed up. There we go. Oh, that's perfect. Look at that. I do like when you've got enough room where you can get your old file right through there. Excellent. Let's give that a little bit of brake cleaner just to blow any crap off. There we go. There we go. And we'll get some air just to dry that. There we go. I can't believe how clean that is in there, if I'm honest. What's she like on the top end? Look at that. There isn't even any rust on the top of this. This engine is a lovely little thing. That wouldn't surprise me if we've got a good little runner here, you know. Let's just pop this carb off. Cool. There we go, she's off. We'll take that carb to bits in a bit and give that a clean. We'll just pop the carb off, guys. Right. I think we need to get this flywheel back on. It's on a keyway, so we can't really get it wrong because it's on a keyway. So, oh yeah, we've got a cam actually on the points. Let's check our points gap. Make sure they are. Oh yeah, we've got a lovely little gap there. I don't know whether you can see that. Let me zoom in as much as I can. Come on, camera, get focus. There you go. Can you see our little points gap? Open, close. Open, close. Open, close. So we've got a lovely little gap there. Right, we should have if I get that keyway at the top, put this keyway at the top. There you go. She's on there. So let's get he back on. That can go any position. Spring washer. The nut. There we are. Now I'm not going to rattle this up very tight because it's a tiny little nut and a tiny little flywheel. So we're going to do it up with a windy, but we're going to set it to its minimum setting. At the minute that's on 4. So let's turn that to 0. Oh wow, I don't think that's got to be enough. Now we need a bit more than that, guys. There you go, that's about as low as that'll go. There you go. Trust me, that wasn't a lot of pressure on there at all. I was going to say, what's catching? That's the funny thing on the tin work. Right, let's put this tin back on and see if we got some form of spark, guys. It's actually a lovely little engine. Quite impressed with this. Right. So we'll just get our little bolts back in. And then hopefully we'll have some form of spark. Need to get them screws back on. There we go. Let's get these tightened up. Thank you very much for all your comments and advice on the Bonza truck on that Villiers engine. And I know a lot of you wanted me to carry on with that Villiers engine. Well, I'm not going to throw the Villiers away, certainly not. But I'm not going to put it on the auto truck. It weren't on the auto truck when I got the truck, it just came with it. And after speaking to somebody, a 92-year-old gentleman who used to sell Bonza parts, I said to him, I wanted a sprocket, and he asked what engine was it for. And I said, well, a Villiers, did they fit different engines? And he said, yes. They either come with a Villiers, a Jap, or a Kohler from factory. They basically used whatever engine they had available at the time. Because you've got to remember, these were just after the war effort, so things were a bit short supply. Right, there we go. Have I gone and nipped a bit of cloth in there? No, we're alright. Right. Let me get this recoil back on, and then we can come back. Alright, that's got the top 2 in. Let's get this bottom one in. The little spacer in there. And the screw. There we go. So we can tighten all these up now. There we go. Right, let's see if we've got any form of spark now. Let's hope. Is our petrol pipe all come right still again? Oh yeah, we're all right. Right, where's our spark plug? Now it'll be interesting to see. We should have a spark now. You know me and sparks, I don't normally have much issue once I clean the points. Oh dear. Oh, hang on. I just saw a spark. hell's rattling in there? Well, that's going to rattle when you run on the engine. The hell is that? I thought I was... Wow, you're resting on the damned engine earth, you idiot. Oh, we still ain't got a spark, look. What the hell is rattling in here? We got a rattle in this end. What have I done wrong? Whatever was that rattling? Oh, well, that rattling's in that recoil or something in that flywheel we've disrupted. Let's spin the engine over without that on. Well, isn't that engine catching on? Is it just catching on this tin work? I don't know. Sounds like this engine's actually catching on the tin work. So if I loosen that screw, what if I tighten these screws back up? There's something suspicious going on there. I'm going to have to try and fettle with this. So it seems if I tighten them screws up, that flywheel's catching on the tin. Sometimes all you need is a little bit of brute force. And see if that's done anything. Oh yeah. No. Well, there's still something catching on there, isn't there? Wonder what's going on there. Alright, let's turn this now and see. No. No, she's turning all right. Let's whiz him over, see if I got a spark at speed. Nope. None whatsoever. Alright, so we don't have a spark on this little puppy. Let's try a different plug. Just in case it's that spark plug. You never know, you heard worse things have happened where we have a different plug on there which ain't working. Let's try it with a new plug. Cause you never know. Whoops, a daisy. Nope. Right, okay, why haven't we got a spark on this? I reckon I found the reason why this engine was stood up. Because we have faulty coil, regardless of how good it looks. Unless there's something wrong with this crimp on the end there. Let's eliminate that crimp. Just in case it was the crimp. not making a good connection. I'm sure I did see a blue spark on there. Alright, we're turning the engine the right direction. Now, absolutely nothing. Oh, that ain't strong enough to take that off. Right, I think we're going to have to take this cover off again, guys. Right, we've just had the flywheel off again. So I think what we're going to do now is, before I put all that tin work back on, there's no reason we can't spin this slowly with a drill and see if we've got a spark now. All I did was, to save a bit of time, I actually re-cleaned the points. So let's have a look and just see now if we have got a spark. And we're going to be on our original spark plug again. So I just cleaned them and degreased them a little bit more. Let's have a look and see if we've got any form of spark now. We should have. I mean, I can't see nothing wrong. Oops, wrong way, Finn. Well, look at that. Even at slow speed, we've got a good spark. Oh, that's brilliant. Right, we have a spark, guys. Guys and guidettes. This is perfect. So in 3, 2, 1, we will have this cover back on. 3, 2, 1, ha-ba! Ha-ha! Right, our recoil is, or our cover is back on. Now we need to get our recoil back on. Ha-ha! Recoil back on. Right. I had to, because I wanted to get this tin right off, I had to cut this crimp off. But I wanted to cut that off anyhow to make sure that that weren't where our problem was. Turned out I just hadn't cleaned the points up enough. Now we don't have a lot of wire to play with on here. So I'm hoping I can strip this. There you go, first time without busting it. And I need to get a crimp. What will go on top of that plug, don't I? Right, we have a crimp that will go on our plug. So we'll jam him on there and crimp that up with a pair of nulls. Alright, so let's get our flat end on there, and that will be tightened a bit more than that, I think. There you go. There you go. I think we got a crimped. There you go. Nicely crimped on there. Right, now let's see if we have a spark. Wouldn't that be a bugger if the spark has gone again now? What the hell? Oh my word, whatever's going on with this? I think I found where this washer was what fell out. Because I think there's meant to be a spacer screw under one of them. Let me weigh this up. Oh, well, after having that cover off, I realised what the problem was. The little washer what fell out. There was a washer in between the tin and the sump, holding the tin away just a little bit. So I'll put the washers back in. Excellent. Right, let's check this spark. Ah, take 3. Look at that. Brilliant spark. Right, carb. And then I think it's a case of, let's see if this puppy will run. Ah. Right, have we got compression? Cool. Yeah, we have got compression. So compression's not going to be any issue for us. So let's just set this engine over here to one side and concentrate our efforts on this carburetor, which, if I'm honest, shouldn't really give us any trouble. These are pretty basic. Right, let's get the top off this and see how clean she is. So we just want to take the float out, which I think is on the little spring. Then I think we've got to take the bottom jet out and just check that's clear. There we go. Now that won't come out because that's on a notch in there. That float is on a little notch and that just slide down and click on. So we have got to take this end out here. If I can find the appropriate sized spanner. Cool. Hang on, I've got to find the right size spanner. Right, I've got a spanner on and it seems to be trying to chew that up. So we're going to cheat and blow through it from the bottom and hope that does it. Because I do not want to risk damaging. Yeah, I do not want to risk damaging at all that little jet on the bottom. Let's just... In all honesty, that carb looks remarkably clean. So we're going to give it a go without and see how it gets on. We can try, can't we? We can try, and then we'll see if our little BSA power unit will run. After I found out it's got petrol leaks and holes in the tank. Now that tank actually looked really solid on this little thing, it really did. And the last couple of videos I've done haven't been very eventful with engines running, so I'd really like this one to run. Because the last couple I've done, we've had no luck with getting them running, have we? So we need to get our carb back on. I think that's all right. So I'm going to put a little bit of oil just around that carb flange. There you go. Just so she slides on a bit easier. There we are. That carb upright, that ain't too far out. She ain't too far out. Yeah, so I'm hoping we can get something running for you guys. Right, we are brought upright. That manifold seems a bit loose. I wonder if we're going to have an air leak in there. But I can't see how this tightens up. Now, don't screw and screw in. I wonder if that's... I don't know, that seems loose in that head. I wonder if we've got to draw air in there. But we will see, won't we? Right, let's get this petrol tap back on with our little bottom nut. And yes, there is little nylon washers on them. Right. Let's give him a little tighten. Right, let's get our throttle cable back on. What did I do with that throttle cable earlier, guys? I thought I put it over there. Oh no, I'll put it over this side. So there's our throttle slide. Let's check that is actually working. It is, look. Ah, brilliant. So just to give it a little bit of chance, let's just put a little bit of oil down there. We've got to come over this guide with this slot. There's a little guide. Sorry, this is the slot. There's a little guide what that got to slot into. That won't go all the way home if it isn't. So you might have to like push and twig. Oh, that's now located, and that'll go down. Now we can screw our cap on. Right, I think we can get this outside and put some petrol in it and see if this little nipper runs. Ah. Right, here we go, guys. We didn't even check in this petrol tank, did we? That is clean as a whistle. Alright, let's see. Whoa, she's nearly full. That's a little old tank, oh. There we go. Right, let's see if we've got any petrol leaks and if this thing's gonna run. I don't think we've got a petrol tap on it either. Oh, there we go, lid's going on. Have we got any leaks? Ah, I believe that's a petrol tap. I don't know which is on and which is off. That I couldn't tell you. Right, we've got a tap here. Doesn't say on and off. Oh, on that way. Right, there's a little arrow this way, so this should be on. Right, let's see. Oh, they've got them shoes in there. Are they going to fly out? No. Right, you've got to be careful starting engines with centrifugal clutches if the clutches aren't in a drum, because they can fly right out. These they're not going to, because they're like half shape and they hit on this metal boss, so they'll only open so far and then hit on there. So there's no risk that these are going to fly out on us. Always check that, because that can be lethal to start these with open shoes. But I'm confident we've got the pins in. They're not going to fly off. The split pins are still in, the washers are on, and they only open as far as hitting on that boss anyhow, so they can't really fly out. Just be mindful of that, guys. Alright, let's see if this thing will go. Are you guys in shot there, or have I moved the engine? Oh, you can see. Right, are we going to run? Whoops, that hazy. We had a bit of a slippage there. Look at that! Look at that! Open the chute. And the throttle works. are, guys. I didn't tighten the top of that plug up. Look, why didn't you tell me that? There we go. She fired up, what was that, second, third pull? After all them years in the shed? Well, she's burning off some rubbish. Look at that. She's burning off a bit of stuff off the exhaust. Ow! So, there we are, man cavers. I'm looking into the sun and it's hot. Here we are. Our little BSA power plant is all working. Can you actually see that? I can't see this through the camera. Is my exposure all set right? I'm assuming we can see that. But there you go. She runs. Lovely job, don't it? Let's turn that petrol off. There we are. So we have a lovely running little engine. Now what are we going to do with it? It's actually got quite a heavy flywheel on there as well. Look at that. Quite a big flywheel. That's lovely, that. I am quite impressed with it. Yes, I am. I'm quite impressed with that. So that's going to be it for this video. Like and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. We will be back with a Bonza video very, very soon. Just getting some parts ready and trying to decipher a power plant for it. Anyhow, see you next time, guys. And bye-bye for now. BSA. Aha!